Iterate with JavaScript for loops. You can run the same code multiple times by using a loop. The most common type of loop is called a for loop because it runs for a specific number of times. For loops are declared with three optional expressions separated by semicolons. For A, semicolon B, semicolon C, where A is the initialization statement, B is the condition statement, and C is the final expression. The initialization statement is executed one time only before the loop starts. It is typically used to define and set up your loop variable. The condition statement is evaluated at the beginning of every loop iteration and will continue as long as it evaluates to true. When the condition is false at the start of the iteration, the loop will stop executing. This means if the condition starts as false, your loop will never execute. The final expression is executed at the end of each loop iteration, prior to the next condition check, and is usually used to increment or decrement your loop counter. In the following example, we initialize with I is equal to 0 and iterate while our condition is I is less than 5. So when I is less than 5 is true. We'll increment I by 1 in each loop iteration with I plus 1 as our final expression. So here we have variable our array set to a blank array. And we have our for loop with our initialization statement. Variable I is assigned a value of 0. Our condition statement, as long as I is less than 5, this code will run. And our final expression, which is to increment I by 1 each iteration as long as I is less than 5. So, while all of this goes on, we are pushing the value of I into our array. This code will cause our array, which was previously a blank array, to now have the values 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These values were pushed into our array because they cause this code to run as long as I is less than 5. So we need to use a for loop to push the values 1 through 5 onto my array. Let's do that real quick. We have our variable my array set to a blank array. So we simply need to type in our statements. So variable I should be declared to 1, since we are pushing the values 1 through 5 onto the variable my array. And as long as I is less than or equal to 5, our code needs to run. And we also need our final expression to increment our I variable by 1 each iteration. So while all of this is going on, we need our variable my array to be pushed the value of I as long as those conditions are fulfilled. So let's log variable my array into the console to see what we get. And there we go. We've successfully pushed the values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into an empty array using a for loop. Thank you for watching.